Most of the students, they panic when they see a word problem which contains angle of elevation, angle of depression. But what if I told you that all these word problems, they contain a right angled triangle which is waiting just for you to solve it. So by the end of this video, you will not be just solving them. You will be hunting them. What for? To score the perfect score, of course. So let's master the art of heights and distances. So students, the first sum. Two poles of equal height are standing opposite to each other on either side of the road, which is 80 meters wide. So whenever you come across a heights and distances question, the first thing you have to do is draw the correct picture or the figure according to the question. What is that? They said there is a road. Draw a road. And then there are two poles on either side. So let these be the two equal poles. And then what is the width of the road? 80 meters. So from here to here, it is 80 meters. Then from a point between them on the road, the angle of elevation to the top of the poles are 60 degrees and 30 degrees. So he said there is a point in between them. Did he say midpoint? No. So whenever you come across the word point between them, on purpose, do not take the midpoint. Let that point be closer to one of the poles or towers or whatever is there in the question. So my point is now closer to the left pole. And he said the angle of elevations. So I join the top to this point, and from here I join from top to this point. Now I know these two angles will become angle of elevations. Next is the tricky question. Two angles are there, 60 and 30 degrees. Which will be 60 degrees and which will be 30 degrees? Look at this. See, imagine I have a pole and I have three people standing at three different places, A, B, and C. So three people standing at three different places, A, B, and C. Imagine an angle of elevation of person at point B is 75 degrees. Let us imagine. Now, what should be the angle of elevation for a person at A? As the person is very close to the pole, you know, logically, if you have to look at anything which is very close to you, what you have to do? You have to raise your head to a greater angle. So here also the person has to raise his head to a greater angle. So here he will have angle of elevation greater than 75 degrees. Now consider the person at point C. Since he is far away from the pole, he doesn't have to raise his head so much. He just have to lift a little bit. So the angle of elevation will be less than 75. So what is that basically we are understanding? Closer the person to the pole or the object and he is trying to see the top of any object, more will be the angle of elevation. Farther the person is from the pole and the angle of elevation will be less. Greater the distance, smaller the angle. Smaller the distance, greater the angle. That's the trick, children. Chalo, let us continue. So now, you know, since this is smaller the distance, greater the angle. Greater the distance, smaller the angle. Then the question is, we have to find the height of the poles and also how far is the point from both the poles. That is the question. Two questions. Find the height of the pole and then the distance of the point from the poles. First thing you have to do is give some names to these points A, B, C, D and so on. I will erase this. I need space to work. Yes. Let us consider. So, how many right triangles are there? There are two right triangles. Since the poles, naturally, they will be perpendicular to the ground. So, I have two right triangles. Now, if I consider the distance from this point to the pole AB as x, what will be the other distance? CD will be. The total distance is 80. and this part is x. So from here to here, what will be the distance? It will be 80 minus x meters. 80 minus x meters. And let the height of both the poles, since both have the same height, let us consider them as h meters. Let us consider them as h meters. What is that now we have to find? Let us do. Let me take a triangle first. So, in triangle, what is it? ABC, ABC. Now look children, which trigonometry ratio we have to take? I will explain. See, this is the acute angle, right? From the acute angle point of view, you have some data, even though that is what we have to find, but at least there is a height h. What is this called? This is called the opposite from this acute angle point of view. And there is a distance x, which is the adjacent. So, which is the trigonometrical ratio which binds opposite and adjacent? Yes, it is tan. So, what I will consider here? Tan theta. What is tan theta? Tan theta is opposite by adjacent. What is opposite? It is AB by adjacent is BC by BC. What is tan 60 value? Root 3 is equals to, I considered AB to be H and BC to be X. Now do the cross multiplication. If you do the cross multiplication, I get the height of the pole to be root 3x. This is not the proper answer, intermediate answer, keep it like that. Now move to the second triangle. What is the second triangle? Second triangle is triangle CDE. In triangle CDE, again, from this acute angle point of view, I have, this is called the opposite side. I have opposite side value, I have adjacent. So what is that we should take? Tan again. So tan 30 degrees is equals to DE by CD. What is DE? DE is nothing but your H and CD is 80 minus X. That implies tan 30 is 1 by root 3. 1 by root 3 is equals to, what is H? H we got it as root 3x. Root 3x divided with 80 minus x. Now do not cancel x and x. I know students you will be tempted to cancel, then no, it's a wrong move. First do the cross multiplication. When you do the cross multiplication, you will get it as 80 minus x is equals to root 3 into root 3 will be 3x. Then get minus x to the other side. It will become 80 is equals to 3x plus x. What does it mean? 80 is equals to 4x. That implies x is equals to 80 divided by 4, which implies x is equals to 20. Now what is x? The distance from the point to the pole AB. Therefore, we will continue here children, not a problem. Therefore, BC is equals to x, which is equals to 20 meters. What is the other distance? CD is equals to 80 minus x, which is equals to 80 minus 20, which is equals to 60 meters. And then, so we found out the distance of the point from the poles. What is the next thing we have to do? Find the height of the pole. Height of the pole. What is the height given? Height is root 3x. H is equals to root 3x. Root 3 into, what is x value? X is 20. So this is basically 20 root 3 meters. But children, please do not leave it like that. Convert that into decimal. So 20 multiplied by, what is root 3? You should know the value, 1.732. Because of this 0, the decimal will move one step to the right. So this will become 2 into 17.32. So when you do the multiplication, it will be 4, 6. So what is the height of the pole? 34.64 meters. And how far is the point from both of them? 20 and 60 meters. You can write them at the end. Therefore, height of pole. What is the height of the pole? Height of the poles is, what is that? We found it out, sorry, 34.64 meters. And what is the next one? The point is at a distance of 20 and 60 meters from the poles. From the poles. That's it, children. The next one. From the top of a tower 100 meters high, a man observes two cars on the opposite side and then with an angle of depression of 30 and 45 degrees. Let us understand this step by step. There is a tower 100 meters and where is the man? He is on top of the tower. So let this be the ground and let this be the tower. Where is the observer? He is on top of the tower. And there are two cars and he is observing both of them. And where are the two cars? The cars are not on same side. The cars are not on this side nor on this side. One car on this side and the other car is on the other side. So let this be the one car and let this be the another car. And how is this? What is he doing? He is seeing them. When he is at a height and watching something below, what kind of angle you will get? Angle of depression. So join the point observer to the car. Then how will you get angle of depression? From this observer, draw a line, dotted line, that is parallel to the ground. The angle between the dotted line and the slant line is your angle of depression. Repeat the same process. The car is here, the man is here, he is looking down, so he will get an angle of depression. How do you show that? Draw a dotted line that is parallel to the ground. The angle between the dotted line and the slant line will be the angle of depression. Now see children, this angle and this angle will be same. Why? Because both are alternate interior angles. Similarly, whatever is this angle of depression will be same as this because both these angles again are alternate interior angles. Now the question is, which is 30 degrees, which is 45 degrees? Again remember the trick children. Greater the distance, smaller is the angle. Since the car is at a farther distance from the pole or the tower, what is the angle I should give? The smaller angle. So I should give 30 degrees here and here. So the angle of depression is 30, which automatically means this angle is 30. Smaller the distance, greater will be the angle. So here I will give it as a 45 degrees. Naturally, this becomes a 45 degrees. And one more we have to write. This is 100 meters. What is that we have to find? Find the distance between the cars. So we have to find the distance between these 2 points. So let me give some names A, B, C and etc. A, B, C, D. Okay. Since this is a tower will be perpendicular to the ground. We have to write triangles. Let me take first one triangle and solve. In triangle ABC. Now see children, we are not bothered about these angles that we drew, angle of depression. Now we will consider these only as our angles. Now see, from an acute angle point of view, I have AC which is opposite side and I need BC which is adjacent. So the proper trigonometrical ratio is tan theta. So I will take tan theta is equals to AC by BC. What is AC? AC is 100 by BC. and tan theta is tan 45 degrees, which is equals to 100 by BC, and you know tan 45 is 1, which is 100 by BC again. So what is that? If you do the cross multiplication, BC will become 100. So the distance between the tower and the first car is 100 meters. Let us take the another triangle, triangle ACD. In triangle ACD, again repeat the same process. From an acute angle point of view, AC becomes opposite. We need CD, which is adjacent. So it is the tan we should take. You can take cot also, children, but I prefer tan. Tan theta is equals to AC by CD, and theta here is 30 degrees. So tan 30 degrees is equals to 100 by CD. What is tan 30? 1 by root 3 is equals to 100 by CD. Do the cross multiplication. Then CD will be 100 root 3. Do not leave the answer. Simplify further. 100 into root 3 value is 1.732. Now see children, how many zeros are there? 2 zeros. So when you multiply, what will happen to the decimal? The decimal will go 2 steps to which side? To the right side. So the decimal will move 2 steps to the right side. 1, 2. So this would become 173.2. What is that they are asking? Distance between the cars. What is the distance between the cars? Distance between cars. What is it? It will be BD. And how do I write BD as? BC plus CD. BC plus CD. And BC is 100. And this is 173.2. Basically, the distance between the two cars is 273.2 meters. Next one. From the top of a 7-meter high building, the angle of elevation of the top of a tower is 60 degrees and the angle of depression of its foot is 45 degrees. Confusing? Let me break it down for you. From the top of a 7-meter high building. So, draw the ground. This is the ground. And then there is a building. What is this? This is building. And then from the top of the building, so where is the observer? Here on top of the building. What is he doing? The angle of elevation of the top of the tower. So there is one more object that should be called as a tower. Now from here, he is observing the angle of, he is getting an angle of elevation when he is looking at the top of the tower. So should the tower be smaller than the building? If the tower is smaller than the building, how will he get an angle of elevation? No, he can't get. So logic says that the tower should be taller than the building. The tower should be taller. Now from here, he is looking at the top of the tower. So connect these two dots to these two dots. Now where is the angle of elevation? What is the angle of elevation? Angle of elevation is 60 degrees. Where should I draw? In order to draw the angle of elevation, draw a line parallel to the ground from the point observer. So I will draw a dotted line. Now this is the right triangle. Here is my angle of elevation, which is 60 degrees. So this is the building. This whole thing is the tower. This is the tower. So when he is looking at the top of the tower, he is getting an angle of elevation of 60 degrees. Then from the same point, the observer is still at the top of the building. He is looking down. angle of depression means he has to look down angle of depression of its foot, which means now the observer, instead of looking at the top of the tower, what is he doing? He is bending down to look at the foot of the tower. So now, how will you get the triangle? This is how you get the angle of depression. Where is the angle of depression forming? It is the angle between the dotted line and the slant line. And you know, this angle of depression will be same as this angle inside the triangle because they both form alternate interiors. Now, students, did you ever think why these two form alternate interiors? I said alternate interiors, but did you think, question yourself, why this is alternate interior? Because, see, what did I say? Draw a line parallel to the ground, which means this dotted line and the ground are parallel to each other, and then this slant line, which is the line of sight, is acting like a transversal. So the angle of depression here and the angle within the triangle, what kind of angles are they forming? Alternate interior angles. Hence both will be same. Now let us come back to our original question. So what is the angle of depression? This happens to be 45 degrees. Since both these angles are same, I will write this as 45. Whether you write here 45 degrees or not, it doesn't matter, children, but I am writing so that I can explain it to you. Okay. I will erase this because I don't want you people to be confused. So which are the two right angles that we have? One right angle is here and the another right angle is here. Now what is that they are asking? We have to find the height of the tower. We have to find the height of the tower. Okay. Did they give anything else? Yes. The height of the building is 7 meters. Let me start putting some letters to this: A, B, C, D and E. Okay. So AB is how much? AB is 7 meters. If AB is 7 meters, how much will DC? DC also will be 7 only. This also will be 7 only. And then what should be ED? Let us consider this to be some X meters. So what should be the total height of the tower? Whatever value we find of x, x plus 7 will give you the height of the tower. Chalo, let us solve this. Which one we will take? You can take any triangle first, children, doesn't matter. I will take triangle ABC. In triangle ABC, 45 is the acute. I have opposite side. I need adjacent. So, tan theta. Tan theta is equals to opposite, which is AB, by adjacent, which is BC. Tan 45 is equals to, what is the height of the building? It is 7 by BC. Tan 45 is 1, so 7 by BC, which means BC is equals to 7. If you do the cross multiplication, you will get BC to be 7. If BC is 7 meters, how much will be AD? AD also will be automatically 7 meters. Let us now solve the other right triangle. In triangle ADE, again, per 60 degrees, ED will become the opposite side and AD becomes the adjacent. So again consider tan theta, which is equals to ED by AD. And what is theta here? It is 60 degrees. So it is, we don't know what is ED. I will keep it as ED only. And what is AD? AD is nothing but BC. Hence I will write it as 7. Tan 60 is root 3 is equals to x by 7. Do the cross multiplication. X is equals to 7 root 3. 7 root 3. Therefore, what is the height of the building? Sorry, height of the tower. Therefore, height of tower is equals to ED plus DC, which is equals to ED is 7 root 3 plus This one is DC is 7. So 7 is common, take 7 common, root 3 plus 1. Do not stop at this, simplify further. 7 into, what is root 3 value? 1.732 plus 1. So this is basically 7 into 2.732. Multiply it quickly, 7 2, so 14, 4, 1 carry, 7 3 is 21, 22, 2, 2 carry, 7 7 is 49, 50, 51, 1, 5 carry, and then 7 to 14, 14 plus 5, 19. So, what is the height of the tower? Height of the tower is 19.1. Suppose sometimes they may say round it off to 2 decimals. Now, if they say, mostly they will say round it off to 2 decimals, even then, even if they do not ask, for CBSE, you have to round it off to 2 decimals. But how many decimals do I have? 3 decimals. So, the third decimal will become the deciding digit. Is the third decimal, is it 5 or greater than 5? It is lesser than 5. If it is lesser than 5, then the number, these things will remain automatically the same. It will remain the same. 19.12. Imagine the height happened to be like this. 19.125. So what did I say? If you have to round off to the 2 digits, the third digit will become the deciding one. Now look at the third digit. Is it 5 or greater than 5? Yes, it is. Then the digit previous to this will take the higher value. So this would become 1 point, instead of 2, it would become 13 meters. This is how you have to leave your final answer in 2 decimals, round off to 2 decimals. This is the procedure. You don't have to do this, but this you have to do. The fourth one. An observer 1.5 meter tall is 28.5 meters away from a 30-meter high tower. Okay, let us understand. So there is an observer. So let this be the ground. Let this be the ground. And where is the observer? Observer is 28.5 meters away from a 30-meter tall tower. So this is the tower. What is the height of the tower? Height of the tower is 30 meters. 30 meters. And how far is the observer? 28.5. So here is the observer. Now look children. In all the previous sums, the observer was a point observer. What does it mean? It means that the height of the observer was ignored. But here the height is given of the observer, which is 1.5. If I consider the observer to be at this point, I cannot take a point observer here because the height is mentioned. So I should draw a line. This represents the height of the observer. So where are the eyes of the observer? Naturally at this point. So this length is 1.5 meters. The distance between the tower and the observer, how much is it? It is 28.5 meters. Now, naturally, the person, when he looks up at the top, he will get an angle of elevation. Let me draw a little taller. Yes. He will get an angle of elevation. This will be the angle of elevation. Now, how to get the way to draw the angle of elevation? You know very well. Draw a line parallel to the ground from the observer's eye point of view. So this gives you the rectangle. Sorry, this gives you the right triangle, and this is your angle of elevation. How much? We don't know. That is what we have to find. Very good. This is a little difficult question. Not a difficult, different question. We have to find the angle of elevation from the eye of the observer. So naturally, this is the eye. Now let me give some names: A, B, C, D, and then this becomes E. I have only one right triangle. If this is 1.5, ED also becomes 1.5 meters. The total height of the tower is 30. Out of that, this is 1.5. So how much should be AE? AE should be 30 minus 1.5, which is 28.5 meters. This is 28.5 meters. Again, if the distance from C to D is 28.5, how much will be the distance from B to E? Again, it is 28.5. If we want, let us write quickly few steps about it. Height of observer. What is the height of observer? Is BC, and BC is the same as ED. So both of them is equals to 1.5. Height of tower. What is the height of tower we are considering it as? Height of the tower we are considering it as AD, and AD can be split and written as AE plus ED, and AE, and we know height of the tower is totally it is 30. So 30 is equals to AE plus ED will also become same 1.5. So ultimately AE is equals to 30 minus 1.5, which is 28.5 meters. So whatever I wrote here, I mentioned it in the main page also, children. No, we don't have to mention this. This is okay. Now which triangle? Only one triangle. So in triangle ABE, ABE. So this is my angle B is the acute angle. From an acute angle point of view, I have opposite side, I have the adjacent. So naturally I will consider tan theta. Tan theta is equals to, I will write here theta AE by BE, which is, what is AE? AE is 28.5 by, what is BE? BE is also 28.5. Both of them will be cancelled, which is 1. So basically I am saying tan theta is equals to 1. In the table, trigonometrical table, under tan, 1 is tan 45. 1 can be written as tan 45. So tan will be cancelled. So what is the theta value? 45 degrees. Hence the angle of elevation is 45 degrees. Now this is interesting, children. A man in a boat is rowing away from a lighthouse 100 meters high. Okay, let us do it line by line. This is the lighthouse. A man is, imagine initially he is at this point, he is rowing away from the lighthouse. So he is not coming towards it, moving away, and within 2 minutes he changed the angle of elevation of the lighthouse from 60 to 30. So in 2 minutes he came from this point to this point, and when you join to the top of the lighthouse you will get the angle of elevations. And what is that he's saying? He changed the angle of elevations from 60 degrees to 30 degrees. As you know, smaller the distance, greater will be the angle. Greater the distance, smaller will be the angle. That's how you have to put in the values. Now, again, one more thing they said, the lighthouse is 100 meters. So this is 100 meters. And interesting thing is, the time he took to come from this point to this point is 2 minutes. I will write minutes completely. So it took 2 minutes to come from here to here. So let me give some values, ABCDs, ABCD, okay. Now what is the question? We have to find the speed of the boat in meters per minute. This is very interesting, children, because we have not done any of this sort till now. Let us write. Now, this is the right angle. How many we have? We have two right angles. Let us write both of them. First one, in triangle ABC, I have opposite side. I need adjacent. So, I will take a tan theta. tan theta is equals to AB by BC. And tan theta is, tan 60 is root 3, which is 100 by BC. If you do cross multiplication, children, root 3 BC is equals to 100. So, BC is equals to 100 by root 3. Since this is not my main answer, I can leave the irrational number in the denominator, no problem. Now, I will consider for 30 degrees, which is the triangle I have to take. Always for the angle of elevations and depressions, we have to consider a right triangle. I cannot take ACD because ACD is not a right triangle. So, which triangle I should consider for 30 degrees? Yes, the complete big triangle, triangle ABD. Take care of such things, children. In triangle ABD, again, this is the acute angle. So 100, the height of the tower will become the opposite. The complete BD will become the adjacent. So again, I'll consider tan theta, which is equals to AB by BD. Tan 30 is equals to AB is 100. BD for now I will write it as it is. Tan 30 is 1 by root 3 is equals to 100 by BD. Now what I will do? I will do the cross multiplication. BD is equals to 100 root 3. Now I know that BD can be split as BC plus CD, which is equals to 100 root 3, and BC I already found out to be 100 by root 3. So I will write it as 100 by root 3 plus CD is equals to 100 root 3. Take the numbers to that side. So I am left with CD on the LHS is equals to 100 root 3 minus 100 by root 3. What is that you can do to the RHS? Take 100 common. So you will be having root 3 minus 1 by root 3. Root 3 minus 1 by root 3. So LCM will be root 3. 1 into what will give you root 3? 1 into root 3. So multiply root 3 with this. Root 3 into root 3 will be 3. 3 minus 1 by root 3. So basically this will be 100 into 2 by root 3, which is 200 by root 3. Now look children, we have to find the speed of the boat. You know, speed is distance by time. Distance by time. What is the distance? It is CD. To travel a distance of CD, it took how much time? 2 minutes. So I will write what is CD? It is 200 by root 3 into 2. So 100 by root 3. So what is the speed of the boat? 100 by root 3. I cannot leave now. This is the final answer. It cannot have an irrational number. So I will rationalize it. Rationalizing factor is root 3. So this is 100 into root 3 by 3 3s is root 3 into root 3 is 3. Now the speed is 100 into root 3 is 1.732. Divide it with 3. Because of the two zeros, the decimal will move 2 steps to the right. So it will become 173.2 by 3. Now if you divide it, 3 5s 15, you will be left with 2. 2 and 3 21. 3 7s 21. 21, 23 minus, so it will be 22. Again, it will be 7 and then 3. So basically, what is the speed of the boat? It is 57.73. What is it? Meters per minute. We found the speed in meters per minute. The next one. A 7-meter long flagstaff is fixed on top of a tower standing on a horizontal plane. So, this is a horizontal plane, which means nothing but a ground. On the ground is the tower. Okay. So, from here to here is the tower. On the tower is a 7-meter flagstaff. Flagstaff is nothing but a flagpole. So I have a flagpole. So from here to here it is the tower. The next one it is the flagpole. From a point on the ground, let me consider this thing. From a point on the ground, the angles of elevation of the top of the flagstaff, which is the top of the flagstaff, this one. So the angle of elevation, and then angle of elevation to the bottom of the flagstaff, which is, this is the bottom. So again, if I look from this point, again it becomes an angle of elevation. What are those? Those are 60 degrees and 45 degrees. Now see, which one should it be 60 degrees, which one it be 45? Hint will be given in the question only. The top of the flagstaff is 60 degrees. They use the word respectively. So from here to here, the complete angle is 60 degrees. And then from here to the bottom of the flagstaff, it is 45. So this angle alone is 45 degrees. Now we have to find the height of the decimal, correct it to round it off to 1 decimal. Let me write the names A, B, C and D. I have two triangles, children, two right triangles. Which are those? One is triangle BCD and the next one is triangle ACD. I will consider first the smaller one. In triangle BCD, which is the angle 45 degrees is the angle. So it will become tan. For tan it is BC by DC. So tan theta is equals to BC by DC. No. Did they give any of the value? Yeah, they said this is 7 meters. I forgot to write. AB is 7 meters. Okay. Tan theta, okay, is BC by DC. What is theta? It is 45. So tan 45 is equals to BC, I don't know, which is DC. And you know tan 45 is 1, children, therefore 1 is equals to BC by DC. So basically what is that? BC is equals to DC. So both the height of the tower and the distance between the observer and the tower is the same. Even though the diagram doesn't look like it, ignore it. So both the heights are same. Now take the other triangle, which is a triangle ADC. In triangle ADC, what is the angle? Angle is 60 degrees. So it is opposite by DC. So tan 60 degrees is equals to AC by DC. Tan 60, children, you know it is root 3. Root 3 is equals to AC by DC. Do the cross multiplication. So, root 3 into DC is equals to AC. After doing the cross multiplication, do the splitting, not before it, because you will get confused. So, that implies root 3 DC is equals to AC can be split as AB plus BC, which means, see, DC and BC and DC are same, which means I can write DC as root 3 BC plus, no, I will get BC to this side, so it will become minus BC is equals to AB. How much is AB? It is 7 meters. 7. So basically this means 7 is equals to, what is common? BC. Take BC common. It will be root 3 minus 1, which is BC into root 3 is 1.732 minus 1, which is BC into 0.732. So 7 basically is BC into 0.7. Excuse me, children. So 7 is BC into 0.732. We have to find BC value. So what you do is get the decimal to the other side. So BC is equals to 7 divided by 0.732. Now look children, in the denominator I have a decimal number. Whenever the rule says that whenever there is a decimal number in the denominator, first remove the decimals. So after decimal there are 3 digits. So I will multiply both the numerator and denominator with 1000 in order to remove the decimal. So BC will become 7000 by 730. 732. So basically BC is 9.56. What is that they said? They said that we have to find the tower. What is the height of the tower? Height of tower is nothing but BC. We got it 9.56, but we can't leave it like that because they said round off to one decimal. If we have to round off to one decimal, the second decimal we have to look at. This second decimal is greater than 5. So automatically the digit previous to that will take the higher value. So BC is equals to 9.6 meters. So the height of the tower is 9.6 meters. The next one. The angle of elevation of a cloud from a point 60 meters above the surface of a lake. So understand this carefully children, because this sum is very, very important. You may expect this sum maybe in a case-based studies. So what he is saying, there is a lake. So I will represent, since this is not the ground, I will represent the lake like this. This is the surface of the lake. And then from a point 60 meters above the surface of the lake. So let this be 60 meters. Let this be the 60 meters above the surface of the lake. A person is looking at a cloud. So let this be the cloud. And when you look up, what is that? Naturally, you will get angle of elevation. What is the angle of elevation? It is 30 degrees. Now, how will you draw the angle of elevation? So, from this point of observation, draw a line parallel to the surface of the lake. Continue it down. So, here is the right angle. Here is the acute angle. What is the acute angle? Which is the angle of elevation. This is 30 degrees. So, this is your surface of the lake, and this is 60 meters above the surface of the lake is the observer looking at the cloud and got a 30-degree angle of elevation. Now, what is the next point? And then the angle of depression of its shadow in water. Now, if this is the cloud, it casts a shadow in the water. So, again, this is the shadow of the cloud. The person, now he is looking at the shadow also. So, what is that? He will, since he is bending to look at it, he will get an angle of depression. This you have to draw a line parallel, and the angle between this dotted line and the slant line will be your angle of depression. This and this will be same because it is they are the alternate interior. So angle of depression basically is 60 degrees. Now he is saying find the height of the cloud from the surface of the water. So from here till here we have to find the height from the surface of the cloud. That is the question. Now here we have to revise our physics topic. What is this? If the water is acting like a mirror, plane mirror, this becomes the object, this becomes the image. And what do we know about the characteristics of the image? The object distance, which is the distance between the object and the mirror, is the same as the distance between the mirror and the image. object distance is equals to image distance. You have to remember this in this sum. Now, if this is 60 meters, naturally from here to here also this becomes 60 meters. And I will consider, let me first give some names to this A, B, C, this B, D, E, and then F. So, what is the height of the cloud from the lake? Surface of the lake or the water? It is AE. Out of that I know a little bit, which is 60. If I can find somehow AF, then I can easily find the required answer. Now consider this to be X. Let me write all the steps properly, children. Let the surface of water, what is the surface of water we are considering? It is CE. CE. Angle of elevation is 30 degrees. And then height of the cloud from the lake. Height of cloud from the surface of lake. Surface of lake is equals to, how much is it? It is AE. It is AE. Now you have to make the point, object distance is equals to image distance. Then you say, we know that object distance is equals to image distance. Is equals to image distance. Which implies, what is the object distance? AE is the same as image distance ED. Let us make this point very clear in the beginning only. Now, let us find what is AF first. So, in triangle, so where are the two triangles forming? One is forming here, the next one is this one. So, I will take triangle ABF. In triangle ABF, tan 30 degrees is equals to AF by BF. Tan 30 is 1 by root 3, which is AF, we are considering it to be X. X by, what is BF? BF I do not know. I will write it as it is. So do the cross multiplication. BF is equals to X into root 3. So whatever is BF, that is X into root 3. Let us take the other right angle, which is BDF. In triangle BDF, tan 60 degrees is equals to FD by BF. Tan 60, children, is root 3 is equals to, what is FD? I will not write split FD right away. I will write it as it is by BF. BF value we already know, it is root 3x. So I will write it as root 3x. Do the cross multiplication. Root 3 into root 3 will become 3x is equals to FD, which implies 3x is equals to FD now can be split as FE plus ED, which implies 3x is equals to, how much is FE? FE is 60 meters above the water level. 60 plus, what is ED? ED is the image distance. What is image distance? Image distance is the same as object distance, which is, object distance is x plus 60. That implies 3x, get this x to this side, it becomes x. 3x minus x is equals to 120 degrees. So 2x is equals to 120, which implies x is equals to 60. Now what is the thing that they asked? Height of the cloud from the surface. So from here till here, they are asking for the height. Therefore, height of a cloud from the surface of water, is equals to, what is this basically? It is AE. AE can be written as AF plus FE. AF is X is 60. So 60 plus 60. So it is, the cloud is at a height of 120 meters from the surface of the lake. This is very, very important, children. Revise it properly.